This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Hello.
You know, some whack job can say this stuff and get away with it?
Parts of the UK are experiencing the driest conditions since the drought of 1976. And experts have warned that the source of the River Thames has dried up for the first time on record, as in ever.
Oh, no.
The source of the River Thames was originally just outside Cirencester, wherever that is. However, following a continuous period of dry weather, it is now more than 5 miles downstream near Somerford Keynes, if indeed there is such a place. Meanwhile, the Met Office has warned of very little meaningful rain on the horizon, with conditions now so extreme that a hosepipe ban affecting 1 million people across Hampshire and the Isle of Wight came into force today. Of course, listeners in Glasgow will get their own weather. Checking for you while you wait. Aha! Not raining tonight. Pfft, rubbish. Raining tomorrow and this is Glasgow. Raining tomorrow and raining on Sunday, and then what? Not raining for 2 weeks. There's something wrong with my phone. Meanwhile, in Dubai, let's just check the weather in Dubai. Ah, yes, it's lovely if you're snake. 117 degrees. That sounds like a great place to go on holiday, no?
No.
No. You people are out of your minds. Anyway, Dr. Rob, out of the Policy and Science Department of the Rivers Trust, said, under our changing climate, we can anticipate the frequency and severity of such periods of drought and water scarcity to intensify. He's anticipating it, with increasing competition for dwindling resources and devastating impacts on aquatic life. Oh, never mind about that, Dr. Rob. Will we be able to fill our pools?
No.
No. The Met Office has warned that there is very little meaningful rain on the horizon as temperatures are set to climb into the 30s next week. Met Office Chief Forecaster Steve said, we could see parts of the UK entering heatwave conditions. Many areas of the UK, especially in the south, will witness temperatures several degrees higher than average. As the high pressure builds, he says, there is very little meaningful rain in the forecast. Stop saying meaningful rain. Especially in those areas in the south of England, and it's a giant wobbling but, in areas such as Northern England and Scotland and Northern Ireland. Rain-bearing weather fronts will be bringing some rain to northwestern parts of the UK, as in Glasgow. Isn't that an absolute shock?
No.
A hosepipe ban affecting 1 million people across Hampshire and the Isle of Wight came into force at 5 p.m. today. Any miscreants yet?
Yes.
I bet there are. You people on the Isle of Wight, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Southern Water begins the temporary usage ban today. Next week, South East water restrictions for Kent and Sussex start, covering 2.2 million people. And the 85,000 people on the Isle of Man have had a ban since last Friday. Wow. The Isle of Man has had a ban since last Friday. Welsh Water has also announced restrictions for 200,000 customers in Pembrokeshire and part of Carmarthenshire from August the 19th. Up to that point, you can use as much as you like. Just throw it away. Just leave your taps on, night and day. 17 million more people in other parts of England could soon be hit by further bans after Thames Water and South West Water both warned that they might soon have to bring in restrictions, which would affect customers in London, the Thames Valley, Cornwall, Devon, Dorset and Somerset, which sounds like everywhere to me.
Correct.
Meanwhile, gardeners are being encouraged to confront or report their neighbours if they spot them repeatedly breaching hosepipe bans.
Warning, warning.
Do not confront your neighbour. Unless you want to live in one of those streets cordoned off by police crime scene tape. Rule breakers are facing fines of up to £1,000 if taken to court and deportation to Rwanda. In Southern Waters guidance for what to do if you spot a neighbour breaking the ban from today, the company advises, if you notice a neighbour, family or friend in the affected areas using water for the restricted activities, please gently remind them of the restrictions in place and direct them to our website for more information, and then duck and run away, as your concern will be met with a polite response. Seriously, don't do it. It ain't worth it. Don't do it. The people that would blatantly defy a hosepipe ban are not the types to take criticism well. You might as well tell them to control their children. They don't like being corrected. They know they're doing wrong and they don't care. And they're primed to go from naught to ballistic in 3 seconds or less. That's right, Bodge, like a car. Very good. A Southern Water spokesmodel said, if you see anyone repeatedly breaching the restrictions, please let us know via our customer service team. I wonder how long it ordinarily takes to get hold of their customer service team. Like hours, I would imagine. I don't know. I've never called them, but I wouldn't think that they answer the phone straight away. Our customer service team. Your call is important to us. You are in a queue. We know you are waiting. The good news for the Don't Care Brigade, by the way, is that any fine would have to be imposed via the courts. And as you can't get court time to prosecute murder cases these days because of the 12 years of the party of law and order defunding the legal system, then your trial date will be penciled in for never.
Oh, fabulous.
Have you got never free? South East Water told customers that if they see a neighbour using a hosepipe or a sprinkler during the ban from next Friday, they should contact them. But Ken Marsh, chairman of the Metropolitan Police Federation, said Brits who start reporting their neighbours in regions with hosepipe bans could lead to disorder and impact overstretched police forces. He said these are civil matters, so not a matter for the police. But obviously, if disorder breaks out as a result of the people snitching, then we will have to respond, he said. I don't know why they all talk like this. I think it's drilled into them in police school. He said, but it is extra work that we could do without, frankly. That's right. The police are busy not responding to someone breaking into your house. They ain't got the time to police a hosepipe ban. OK, so what activities does the hosepipe ban cover? You may be asking yourself. And I have the answer because I've done homework. Can you believe that?
No.
Southern Water has issued the following list of activities which are not allowed in parts of Hampshire and the Isle of Wight from today due to the hosepipe ban. Watering a garden using a hosepipe. Cleaning a private motor vehicle using a hosepipe. Watering plants on domestic or other non-commercial premises using a hosepipe. Cleaning a private leisure boat using a hosepipe. Filling or maintaining a domestic pond using a hosepipe. Drawing water using a hosepipe for domestic recreational use. Filling or maintaining an ornamental fountain through a hosepipe. Cleaning walls or windows of domestic premises using a hosepipe. Cleaning paths or patios using a hosepipe. Cleaning other artificial outdoor surfaces using a hosepipe. In other words, don't use a hosepipe. They don't have to list all that, just don't do it. Is it a hosepipe?
Yes.
Don't use it. The hosepipe, by the way, does not impose restrictions on commercial window cleaners or car washes or businesses what need water as part of their operations, such as zoos. Meanwhile, we are preparing for another heatwave next week, with temperatures set to soar towards 100 Fahrenheit for the second time in less than a month. With a hot, hot weekend also on the way as the mercury hits 81 Fahrenheit this weekend. The Met Office said it expects temperatures to reach the low or even mid-90 Fahrenheits by the end of next week, thanks to an area of high pressure building from the South Atlantic into the south and the southwest of England.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And I will translate European surrender... no, wait, I did Fahrenheit, didn't I? Oh, damn. Yeah, OK. Well, no, that's right. Fahrenheit. I will... if you kids must... I will translate Her Majesty's Fahrenheit into European surrender centigrade. So you double it and add 32. To go from Fahrenheit to centigrade, any fool know that you double it and add 32. I mean, it's not completely accurate, but it's more or less. Double it and add 32 to get from Fahrenheit to centigrade. So 90, let's say 90, nice round number, easy to do mental arithmetic. So 90 times 2 is 160. 160 plus 32 is 182. Wow, it's going to be 182 degrees centigrade next week. Can you believe that?
No.
Tonight, dry and cool night under clear skies, however, turning cloudy across the northwest with some rain later. Saturday, rain at times across the far north, fine and dry further south, sunny periods. Sunday to Tuesday, mainly dry and fine, light winds, lengthy sunny spells, daytime temperatures increasing daily, but cloud and rain and stronger winds at times for you know where. Would you like to hear the long-range forecast for the next 4 weeks?
No.
Middle 2 weeks of August. It's slipping away too fast, isn't it? I mean, it's just like disappearing. Time. It's like it's sped up. I think it's Earth's wobble. It's probably something to do with the wobble. Middle 2 weeks. Here's an expert on a wobble giving his opinion.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Middle 2 weeks in August. Fair amount of settled weather throughout. Cloudy at first in the north and the northwest with some outbreaks of rain possible. Mostly dry elsewhere. Mostly. With long sunny spells, especially in the south. Generally warm and locally very warm or even hot in central and southern parts. Temperatures remaining above average widely, with further spells of very warm weather possible. Not bad. And then, the end of August and the beginning of September. This is it, everybody. The year is slipping through our fingers. The end of summer. Good luck, everyone. At first, end of August, beginning of September. At first, occasional bouts of more unsettled weather, outbreaks of rain, and maybe thunder, lightning, very, very frightening.
Rock and roll!
Temperatures normal to warm, but very warm and humid at times in the south. Temperatures normal to warm, but very warm and humid at times in the south? We'll take it. And that is the end of that show. Thank you so much for all your contributions. I'll see you tonight. Still a short period to go. I'll fill. Feltham. Hello, John.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Sorry, you just make me laugh so much. Well, unfortunately, Eric goes crazy during the COP conference, but nobody ever bothers about the IPP reports that come out outside of that. And 2 years ago, they had regional reports for the world. And for Europe, they said two things that should be very scary. First of all, they said by 2040, southern England could have multi-year droughts.
Multi-year droughts.
And also, by 2060 or so, between now and 2060, there could be 150 million climate refugees moving from southern Europe and the Mediterranean to northern Europe, which is us.
Northern Europe. Well, I'll check on a map to see where that is, but I don't think that we've got anything to worry about because Liz Truss said she's all over it. Nothing to worry about, John. All right, thanks a lot, mate. It's just weather. I've read it on the internet. Tom texts, I totally agree that Brexit was a disaster. What? Where'd you get that from? I haven't even started yet. Did I mention the B word yet? No, I don't think I did. I totally agree that Brexit was a disaster and that we should rejoin the EU, says Tom. Then the cost of living crisis and all of our woes would suddenly disappear overnight, wouldn't they, Nick? Yes, Tom, they would. I think Tom is using sarcasm there. But accidentally tripped into some truth. Mikey emails, greetings, me and my glamorous assistant. A whole week yet, no news from Bodger. Has he been kidnapped by Peppa Pig? I don't know. Let's go to the man in charge and see what he says.
Peppa Pig World. Peppa Pig World is it has
Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig
is the right answer. Very good, Bodge. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet @LBC. Text 84850.
Well, the whole world's gone crazy.
Well, this small corner of it seems to have gone absolutely bat bleep crazy. Anum texts, Kwarteng said that there will be no financial support for a month when ministers return to work. Does that make sense? He said that there will be no financial support for a month See, when ministers return to work, do you mean that after ministers return to work there will be no financial support? Or do you mean that there will be no financial support during the period when they've all run away on their jolly hollies, and that might change when they return to work? Can I wait to settle all my bills then, he says. Or her, sexist. Hashtag smell test fail. He's, Crazy Kwarteng was talking on behalf of his Imperial Bodgeness. And everywhere Bodger goes, there's a smell test fail. Ain't that right, Bodge? As Britain faces a recession and soaring inflation, a cabinet minister insisted today that Bodge is completely on top of everything. Yeah, I bet he is. He's off on another bunga party with foreign spies and cameras in every bedroom. No one wants to see that, Bodge. Put it away.
Disgusting.
As the Bank of England made a series of gloomy predictions and called for immediate action, the Prime Minister and Chancellor Nadeem Zahawi have decided that the best course of action is to do nothing and run away. It's an emergency, said the Bank of England. We're not in, said Nadeem Zahawi and the Prime Minister of this country. They're on holiday for a month, probably. I mean, we won't see them till the parliamentary show starts again in September. Have you seen the parliamentary show? Boring! Yeah, it's gone on a little too long. They won't be back until that show starts again in September. And then, of course, there's the leadership results. So none of them will be doing anything for a good few weeks because of all those business meetings. Then there's a conference season. Now, that's a whole month where ministers make sure in hotels in foreign parts, they make absolutely sure to get adjoining rooms with their most delicious and pulchritudinous assistants. So no work for 4 weeks there. And then they go off on another 2 weeks holiday in November because why not? And then they break up for a 4-week holiday at Christmas at Jesus' birthday. And, it's all work. But Business Secretary Crazy Kwarteng was on the airwaves this morning insisting that the two men, his Imperial Bodgeness and Nadeem Zahawi, were working while on holiday. On their tans, he means. Yesterday, the Bank of England warned that Brits face 2 years of tumbling household incomes with inflation set to soar to more than 13%. And the economy plunging into the longest recession since the financial crisis. And what does Bodge do? Absolutely nothing at all. The top man, the big chief, the head honcho, the fat cow. You know he's still getting at least $13,000 a month from us, plus expenses, plus whatever he can cadge by monetising his position. And he's so pleased with his record, so delighted with the way things are going, that he swans off to some stunning location which befits the dear leader that will no doubt be provided for him for free because he seems allergic to paying for anything. Bodge went on holiday on Wednesday and is not expected to be back at his desk until next week, which I think means never. When's he back? Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. And Crazy Kwarteng said he did not know where Johnson is, adding, he's just had a wedding, I think he's on a honeymoon, and I don't think many people will begrudge him that. Yes, we do. His wedding to his current wife was in May. Is he celebrating that it's lasted 3 months? Longer than anyone could have expected. Well done, Bodge. What time's the first extramarital affair?
I can't comment on that.
Blah. Still working that into your diary. Meanwhile, Zahawi, you know Zahawi, the numbers man?
And 1,
2,
2,
3,
6 million.
No! That's him, the actual Chancellor of the bloomin' Exchequer, the man whose task it is to steer the economy. Well, the economy is veering towards an iceberg and the captain's decided to take a long nap. But, and this is a first, he defended going on holiday by saying that he never goes on holiday. He actually said that out loud. Chancellor Zahawi is away with his family and was not available for broadcast interviews in the wake of the Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey saying the following. Zahawi said, for me, like I'm sure lots of others, there is no such thing as a holiday and not working, he said. Not working on holiday. He said, I never had that in the private sector, not in government. Ask any entrepreneur and they can tell you that. Yeah, get Richard Branson on the phone. You'll find him on some deck chair or other. He said, millions of us dream about getting away with our families, but the privilege and responsibility of public service means that you never get to switch off. That's why I have had calls and briefings every day and continue to do so. Yeah, calls and briefings. He's calling up reception to have them refill the complimentary minibar, and he's wearing his briefings.
Disgusting.
Meanwhile, us poor dopes what pay taxes are facing 2 years of tumbling household incomes with inflation set to soar to more than 13% and the economy plunging into the longest recession since the financial crisis. Excellent time to run away, eh, Bodge? Ukraine not on your to-do list anymore. What a way to run a country, eh?
Dreadful.
0345 6060 973. Belsize Park. Judy.
Hello.
Judy.
I blame you for my blood pressure. Right, I want to encourage people to snoop on their neighbours, but only certain people.
Yes.
I want anyone living anywhere near Downing Street or Chequers to keep a very, very strong eye on the colour of the grass. Because...
Yeah, and who's smoking it?
Want to score some pot?
Our garden currently is a kind of... It used to be beautiful, lovely green, and it is now a kind of orangey yellow.
Yeah, a sickly blight brown.
And
I
just,
don't like brown.
Don't like brown, but that is what we've been careful.
Yeah.
But when this rule comes in for the not South London, I'm sorry.
Here, there and everywhere, baby.
There, yeah. I want everybody, please, to notice the colour of the grass at Chequers and at Downing Street.
Yeah,
please.
It'll be the greenest grass you've ever seen in your entire life.
Well, then I want to know why. And also, can I be a listener with material?
Yeah, but just before you give us your material, the reason why will be as follows. Boris Johnson's spokesmodel will say, the public are no longer interested in this and they want to move on. So lessons must be learned, Judy, and that'll be the end of it.
But this isn't, we haven't started, never mind moving on. We haven't got the ban in yet. So they're anticipating.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever is levelled at him, then take it on board right now, Judy, that whatever it is, we, the public, aren't interested in it, and we wish to move on.
Okay. Right, can I be a listener with material? But my material is so gruesomely awful that I hardly dare say it, but I will say it.
Is it in the form of a limerick?
No.
Can you sing it to me?
No. Have we got here another Watergate?
Right. Well, if only you, Judy, can get away with that.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Judy.
You're very welcome.
Don't try and out-polite me. All right, cheers, Judy. 0345 6060 973. No, the only person that tries to use politeness as a weapon is, I can't think of anybody. Can you?
I don't know anything.
Yeah, him. I don't know anything. Sutex, this week has been Swanage Carnival Week. So much going on, from parades and flying displays and live bands and fireworks, a craft day, swimming across the bay, sand sculpture and lots more. Lucky it's been wonderful weather. It finishes tomorrow, says Sue. You're a little bit late with the news there, Sue. I mean, if it finishes tomorrow, then we're all fresh out of luck. If only anybody knew where Swanage was. Let's have a call in Colnbrook. Nick.
Good evening, Nick. Nice to hear from you.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to keep my grass beautifully green a lot longer, I hope. My stepfather, 20 years ago, dug a well in our garden, and it's still full of water. Dare I ask, do you actually know how the bricks in a well go all the way to the bottom? How do you actually brick it out if it's full of water at the time? Would you like to know?
No.
You said yes, I'd have been amazed, but I'll tell you what, when you see it dropped in, you'd be amazed.
But thanks for asking, though, Nick. I appreciate your concern.
It's worth the 5 minutes of waiting.
Yeah, I bet. Okay. Another satisfied customer. We'll never know the answer to that question. If only there was some sort of screen-based method that you could look information up on. Somebody should definitely invent that. Daryl says, during last night's leadership debate, I decided to play soundbite bingo. The Brains scored 3 clears, 6 very clears, and 2 deliveries for a grand total of 11. Fishy scored 1 clear and 5 deliveries, but he also gets a special 5-point bonus for his answer on the Rwanda policy by using the term lefty lawyers.
Fabulous.
He did, didn't he? You're an absolute chump, Fishy Sunak, and I really mean that. He says, so overall it was a dead heat. In other words, they're both equally appalling. Never mind, we should be able to remove them in a mere 7 years. Yeah, that's right. Because the Labour Party seems to be intent on losing again. So they can stew in that in those delicious loser juices. Oh, blimey, look at the time. It's just past 10:30 on LBC. The news introducing the news is actually very dangerous. Don't you try it. I'm a trained professional. It's just past 10:30 on LBC. The news headlines with Serena Farrow.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Okie dokie.
0345 6060 973. Julie texts, have you seen that video doing the rounds of the Bodge dancing at his wedding party to Sweet Caroline? I have now, says Julie, and now I need to Brillo... I have, she says, and now I need a Brillo pad to scrub my eyeballs to get rid of that image stuck there. Scared to go to sleep tonight in case I have nightmares. Yes, I have seen it. It looks like he's directing traffic. He's dancing to a song, just not the one playing in that room. It's like he's having a seizure. He dances just as well as I thought he would. What a catch, eh? Ellesmere. Michael.
Hi, Nick.
Michael.
You all right?
Yes, good, thanks.
I think I might have a solution for the hosepipe ban.
Go on.
Rishi Sunak was at a hustings saying how he reversed Labour policy of giving money to deprived areas.
Yes.
How he's putting it to more affluent areas.
Quite right.
Well, maybe he could. Maybe we could do that with water.
When do rich white people ever get a break?
Yeah, so I was thinking, why can't he do it with water? Maybe take water away from more deprived areas and, divert it towards a swimming pool.
That's a very, very good idea. We should take the food out of the mouths of poor children and rich children can have it as a picnic snack.
Yeah, see, Liz Truss, she's not much better. I think she was going to save £9 billion by lowering wages up in the north.
First, she said, I am very clear that I want to reduce the wages of dreadful northern people. And then she said, I have been very clear that I do not want to reduce the wages of dreadful northern people.
Yeah, it seems to be going extremely well.
Yeah, very, very well. Just as well as we thought it would. All right, excellent work there, Michael. He's quite right. Rishi Sunak, the fish man, has boasted of having taken money from deprived urban areas in order to give it to richer parts of the country.
What?
Hang on. Sometimes I surprise myself. He made the boast while speaking to Tory members in one of the richest parts of the country, Tunbridge Wells, while on the leadership campaign trail in July. Sunak said, I managed to start changing the funding formulas to make sure areas like this, Tunbridge Wells, are getting the funding they deserved. He says, we inherited a bunch of formulas from Labour that shoved all the funding into deprived urban areas that needed to be undone. I started the work of doing that, he said. Wow. Evil, yes?
No.
When quizzed about this rather astonishing admission that the regime is not being absolutely honest when they say they are interested in levelling up, Sunak's campaign did not dispute the video and instead defended its content. Of course they did. I mean, would you have expected them to do anything else? Of course they defended it. It's like, what would Donald Trump do? He'd double down and tell you he's a very smart person.
Believe me, believe me, believe me, believe me, believe me, believe me, believe me. Okay.
He's not a nice person.
Donald Trump is a very nice person.
Okay, well, I got that wrong. You can add it to the things I've got wrong. Tunbridge Wells, by the way, in Kent, has a Conservative majority of 14,645 and has been held by the party since creation in 1974. I betcha that His Imperial Bodgeness gets parachuted into Tunbridge Wells when the good people of Uxbridge can't stand him anymore, which should be round about now. Round about now. He's not going to fight a seat in Uxbridge. They hate him in Uxbridge. I bet he couldn't find Uxbridge with a sat-nav. Has he ever been there? I bet that's where he goes. That's where they put him, just so he can, carry on carrying on.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Yeah. Kent Live website. I actually looked this up. I did homework. Kent Live website says Royal Tunbridge Wells has been named the best town in Kent. Well, that's not saying much. The royal town was named among the best towns and villages in the UK in a survey conducted by the consumer choice brand. Which one was it? Which? That's what I'm asking. See Abbot and Costello for further details. Destinations were rated out of 5 based on overall satisfaction and likelihood to recommend. Royal Tunbridge Wells scored 70% for overall satisfaction. You want to know how that sounds? The paper Kent Live boasted that nowadays the town is popular for its expensive houses, railway links to London, stunning parks, and great places to eat and drink, and was voted one of the top 10 places to live nationwide. Well, it sounds like they really need that cash that would have gone to layabout poor people in the north, who would have just thrown it away on flat caps and whippets. It's the fishy way. He actually said levelling up isn't just about city centres, it's also about towns and rural areas all over the country that need help too, he said, talking to an audience of millionaires in Tunbridge Wells, where he has directed some of that hard required money. Hard required, hard needed, hard earned needed required money. Don't ask me any questions, I'm under a lot of pressure. He says the only way to help people in Royal Tunbridge Wells the only help people in Royal Tunbridge Wells needed is assistance on carrying their Waitrose shopping bags to the Volvo in the car park. That is the only help that people in Royal Tunbridge Wells need.
Affirmative.
A spokesmodel for Fishy said travelling around the country, he's seen non-metropolitan areas that need better bus services, faster broadband or high-quality schools. That's what he'll deliver as Prime Minister. Yeah, more money for the rich. Better bus services? He wouldn't know one end of a bus from another. I bet he'd try to climb into the driver's cab. Sunak is believed to be trailing the Liz bot in the race to succeed Bodger Johnson as Prime Minister as party members begin voting. But there is still a month of campaigning to go on the Liz and Fishy show. It's Lizzie and Fishy. So plenty of time to demonstrate who cares about the little people the least. To show how much they hate foreigners and how they will be the person to fix all of the problems that were caused by them. Let's have a call in Bristol. Hello, John.
Yes, Nick.
Yes, John.
Hello, Nick.
Hello, John.
Yes. Listen,
Yes.
honestly, I mean, choosing between Rishi, Fishy, Sunak, and Liz the Brains Truss is a bit like trying to find the least worst toilets at Glastonbury Festival.
Oh. My recommendation is just don't go. Can you hold it in for 5 days?
No.
Not really.
I mean, you got to. I mean, if you didn't laugh, if it wasn't so serious, if it wasn't for like millions of people plunged into poverty from policies of the last 12 years of these appalling people, half of them should be. They should be in prison.
Prison.
Ian Duncan Donuts. He should be in prison, man, for what he done to disabled people, and I'm one of them.
Right.
In the last, when he was in charge.
Okay. Well, let's not go down that road, John. But well, just leave them in prison and see how it works out for them. Excellent work, John. Thanks a lot, mate. David texts, my brother lives in mid-Wales. It's always rainy there, so why not build more dams and collect it when it's pouring down in winter and sell it to the English in the summer? Sell it. Can't you just give it to us? I mean, how much rain do you need? How many texts and tweets have I got to get through? Oh, my God, 10 pages already. I haven't been on an hour. How can there be 10 pages? But you know me, I never complain.
Whinging and whining and moaning.
Oldbury, Ranjit.
Hiya, mate.
Yes, sir.
You know, years ago when the Americans used to have their elections on who was going to be the presidential candidate, the preliminaries are they called?
No.
I used to wonder why they all hated each other, but they were on the same party. Okay, and this is the first time that our politics has gone right down into the gutter.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not on about seriously into the gutter that these guys are doing blue on blue tax, yeah?
Right.
And they're saying that, don't forget, by the way, guys, once it's over, we're going to be one big happy family.
Yeah.
My foot.
They will be a big family. They might not be happy, but they won't show it to us, as opposed to the Labour Party, who will spew up their internal malaise all over us.
Yeah, so how can you trust these guys? I mean, that Rishi Sunak, people are going on about his shoes. He's now...
His shoes? It's not his shoes that concerns me. It's everything above them.
Yeah, he's portrayed now what he actually thinks of us in that video, right? The poor people, right?
Yeah.
And I just... like when you always say, what would the Donald do, yeah? Mm-hmm. We're doing the same goddamn thing, We're just about probably, 5 or 6 years behind America.
Always.
We used to be about 20 years behind America.
Correct. And then they invented the internet and we just caught right up.
We caught right up. And, regarding the water, right? If Boris Johnson hadn't been thrown out, he would have had 2 more members on the cabinet. The one would have been the Minister for Drought, and the other one would have been the Minister for the Floods, right?
The Minister for Misery.
Whatever you can call it. And like now...
That's not curing misery, by the way. That's making it.
Making it, yeah. So... I mean, there's plenty of water in Scotland, right? They're doing the HS2, yeah? You're always telling us how much it's raining there. Mm-hmm. Why not along the HS2 put in some water pipes and then transfer the water down to further...
Yeah, or we could fill the trains with water and make them into mobile swimming pools. People would like that.
And we could have premium rates, couldn't we? Special water from Scotland.
Yeah, we could put some of those high-powered jets in and make them a jacuzzi.
No, what I'm saying is...
A jacuzzi with a view. Doesn't that sound great?
No, it does. What I'm trying to say is...
What are you trying to say, Ranjit?
There's so much lack of planning in this country by the people that lead us. It's now becoming ridiculous. Yeah. And you look, when my uncle came over from Canada a few months ago, and he said to me, "Is this what I left 40 years ago?" He said he can't believe it.
I see. It's your uncle's fault. For the last 40 years, we've been suffering in his absence, and all the while he could have come back and showed us the error of our ways. Well, thanks a lot, Uncle.
Okay, no. And another one of my uncle lives in Germany and he listens to LBC, right? And he says to me, I speak to him, he says, the things he hears about London and everything, right? He's retired in Germany. He says, I don't want to come back. But people like myself and yourself, where are we supposed to go? Rishi Sunak's told us what he thinks about us, right?
Yeah, where are we supposed to go? That's exactly right. Yeah, what about us?
He's going to make welfare estates, right, where we get locked in, yeah? And we can come out to do some work and then we go back. Remember the old Victorian workhouses?
Yeah, I remember them well, yeah. How old do you think I am?
No, but you know what I mean. And you could have Smug that's in charge of the Victorian workhouses.
Yeah, and we could go to the front and say, please, sir, may I have some more?
No.
It's a no from them.
When's the society going to wake up? I just don't...
I don't know. That's an excellent question. Wake up, people. It's later than you think. Thanks a lot, Ranger. Got to go. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
I'm taking you off the air. I think you're having a breakdown.
Yes, I am having a breakdown. And I forgot to turn my mic on. Sam says, who would win in a dance-off between Donny and Bodger? I would totally win. That no one knows more about dancing than me.
Excuse me.
It would be a Donny's excuse me. Paul says at least you can fertilise the garden at the same time as watering it. What does that mean? Dorothy tweets, I'll only be dobbing in errant hosepipe violators if I know they voted to leave. Don't let them get away with it, Dorothy. By the way, there's been an update on the Fishman. Fishy Rishi Sunak has defended his remarks about how he took cash away from deprived urban areas and gave it to rich people in prosperous towns. Okay, this is like politics P101. Fishy, you're not supposed to say the quiet part out loud. I mean, we know that you prefer the to benefit rich people, but you're not supposed to actually say that. Big mistake, huge. I expect that the public no longer wants to hear about that, and it's time to move on. The former Chancellor was filmed bragging that he had started changing public funding formulas when he was the Chancellor to ensure places like Royal Tunbridge Wells receive the funding they deserve. The New Statesman magazine, which obtained the video, said they were made to grassroots Tories in the Kent town on July the 29th. You know, the bores that prop up the bar at the golf club. Those people. Trying to distance himself from himself, he said, I was making the point that deprivation exists right across our country and it needs to be addressed. Deprivation. In Tunbridge Wells. Well, it's deprived compared to his house, but not to anywhere else. He said he was pleased at the work he was able to achieve. Well, it's so nice to be pleased with yourself, isn't it? He went on TV and did those hurt puppy dog eyes that he makes when he wants to seem like he's being picked on. And he explained that what he said he didn't mean. But on everything else, you should believe him. He was robustly clear about that. And I don't know if you noticed, but in the background, you can see him doing that, who, me? I haven't done anything. You know, that sad look he gives. Ugh. In the background, lurking like an attack dog. He looked like he was foaming at the mouth, just itching to take a chunk out of someone's leg, was angular, tetchy humanoid Dominic Deckchair Raab. He seems to look more and more frightening every time he pops up on TV, doesn't he? I mean, he does look like he's about to chew the scenery. He's so furious. Put him on a lead, please. But not all Tories are as pleased with Fishy as he is with himself. Foreign Office Minister Lord Zach Goldsmith said of Fishy's outburst that he delighted that he took cash away from deprived people and gave it to the rich. It's like Robin Hood in reverse. He said, Lord Goldsmith, he said, this is one of the weirdest and dumbest things I've ever heard from a politician, said Lord Zach Goldsmith. Wow. And he's close friends with Boris Johnson, so he must have heard some weird and dumb things, eh, Bodge?
I can't comment on that.
Blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Jake Berry, the chairman of the Northern Research Group of Tory MPs and full-on Trustbot fan, said that in public, Fishy Sunak claims that he wants to level up the north, but here he boasts about trying to funnel vital investment away from deprived areas. Says Jake Berry, the chairman of the Northern Research Group of Tory MPs. But the names these Tories give their little gangs that they form, are so sinister, aren't they? The European Research Group, which is anti-Europe. The Net Zero Scrutiny Group, which is anti-net zero, pro-burning more oil. The Common Sense Group. Right. And the Conservative Party Northern Research Group. Just sounds like they're carrying out experiments on Northerners. You know, see how many beagles they can smoke before they get a tobacco habit. I mean, can you really go on Ilkley Moor, bar tat? Let's investigate that. Labour said it was scandalous that Fishy Sunak was openly boasting that he fixed the rules to funnel taxpayers' money to rich Tory shires. But his supporters insisted that he was talking about moving money from big cities to smaller urban areas, one of the key aims of levelling up. Yeah. Nice try, no sale. I mean, if it had been somewhere other than Royal Tunbridge Wells, he might have gotten away with it. No sale, Fishman. Stick to what you know. Promising to deport more foreigners and being pretend angry about all that woke stuff. I don't know. I mean, if your previous public face is in soft focus wearing cashmere hoodies, then it's a bit hard to take now you're a salt-of-the-earth tough guy. Who are you trying to kid? I mean, at least we know Liz Truss is full-on Lizzie. I mean, that's the noise that's going on in her brain. But Fishy Sunak's trying to work himself up into, righteous anger. Oh, I'm so cross. By the way, do you know who the Tories' Levelling Up Secretary is? Of course you don't. I mean, he doesn't get out much, because there's nothing to brag about as regards levelling up. But it's a bloke called Greg Clark, who happens to be the MP for Tunbridge Wells.
Oh, fabulous.
See how this all fits? What a shower, eh? Of course we could do with a shower right now, but not that kind. John says, how can the UK, an island totally surrounded by water, run out of water? The Israelis have built an oasis in the desert by building desalination plants and pulling water from the Med. Why can't we do the same here? Because, well, up to this point, we haven't needed to. Desalination plants take an enormous amount of energy. And I don't know if you've checked lately, but we ain't got that. Why, by the way, is the rest of Europe, or much of the rest of Europe, doing the right thing and dialing down on their energy usage? I mean, they're turning the aircon down and they're making buildings, the empty office buildings, turn their lights off at night and, asking people to be a bit more careful with the energy that they use, which makes perfect sense, even regardless of anything that's going on at the moment. I mean, wouldn't that be a good idea? We only got so much energy in the, so much oil anyway, oil and gas and, nuclear, all that stuff. They're using less of it, which is good for the planet. But here, well, I guess they're chalking that down to a Brexit benefit. We get to burn the world's resources more quickly. Thank goodness for Brexit, eh? We've got an entire 7-foot hat stand whose existence is based on finding a positive about Brexit. You found anything yet?
I don't know anything.
Still doesn't know anything. A little bit louder?
I don't know anything.
Still doesn't know anything. One more time?
I don't know anything.
He still doesn't know anything. To be clear, he does not know anything. 0345 6060 973, text 84850, email nick@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Oh, hello.
What number are you calling from?
0345 6060 973. Raymond text, 90 times 2 is 180, not 160. Nick, you are wrong. Well, I don't know where you went to school, Raymond, but you're embarrassing yourself on national radio. Just look it up. Here is Isla White. Hello, Billy.
Hi, Nick.
Billy,
how are you?
I am great, mate.
Oh, good. I'm loving the chat about Rishi Sunak, and I just couldn't resist talking to you about it, Nick.
Yes.
Because it's just an absolutely brilliant move that he's played for himself. Not, obviously. I'm delighted. I really am, because out of the two, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't like Liz and I don't like Rishi. I wouldn't vote for either of them in an election. But I just can't believe that the man that said... Now, Kay Burley did a brilliant job, by the way. I watched the whole 1.5 hours and it was quite entertaining.
Right, entertaining. By entertaining, do you mean boring?
I actually don't mean it in a sarcastic way. I thought Kay Burley's questioning was brilliant. I mean, you could see Rishi squirming in his seat when she started talking about his money and walking in his Prada shoes. She was just, honestly, she was brilliant.
Prada shoes? Who cares about the break of his shoes, for crying out loud? He's got £1 billion in the bank. Of course he's going to buy £500 shoes.
Well, it was just, I think it was more the link she was making. She wasn't steering away from the questioning that I think you'd probably find at one of these live hustings.
Right. Well, if she was actually asking him about his shoes, that was pathetic. See, I didn't see the interview. I only have your word on it. But if she was concentrating on his footwear, I mean, what's she on about?
Well, I think she was making the link to, I think it was to do with the fact that he's really wealthy and, you know, how can you relate to working class people? Because, you know, he in that video he said something about not having working class friends.
Yes.
I think he said, I think Kay Burley sort of related somewhere along the lines around, can you relate to people that are working class, Mr. Sunak, in your Prada shoes?
I'm not here to defend him, but of course he doesn't have working class friends. He's rich. Rich people don't have working class friends any more than working class people have rich friends. People, like birds of a feather, flock together.
Yeah, no, they do, but
I mean, what's he supposed to do? Like go out to a local pub and adopt a poor person?
Look, I've got to say, I never thought I'd find myself in the position with me defending Kay Burley and you defending Rishi Sunak.
Well, I like Kay Burley a lot. I think she does excellent work, but stop going on about his shoes.
Yeah. But the thing I suppose the compelling issue that I called up about, Nick, was the fact that at the very beginning of the interview, Kay Burley was questioning him, and one of his responses, Rishi Sunak's responses to what he does for people that are poor or people that don't have as much money as him.
Yeah, ignores them, walks by on the other side of the road, winds the window up on his Bentley.
With a cigar in his hand, probably. And that was one of the questions he said. One of the questions he responded to was, I think it was around his sort of like relatability or the help that he offers.
Yeah.
And I just find this video, this video that's come out from the 29th of July.
Yes.
I just think it is brilliant. The fact that his true colours have come out.
Well, it's not like he tried to hide it. He was in front of an audience of actual real-life human beings, and somebody was filming it at the time. He's not very good at his job. You're not supposed to say the quiet part out loud. I mean, assuming that his job is, lying for a living.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, you see. So also, obviously the Conservatives, they keep banging on about, oh, yeah, and I watched the live hustings tonight because I've got nothing better to do. And he keeps saying, at the end of every single speech, he says, we're going to come back together as a team, we're going to continue delivering. Well, hold on a second. If the Conservatives were united, why are people posting videos and content that does the complete opposite to that makes him look like he stepped into it?
Billy, let me tell you exactly what's going to happen. Once the leadership race is secured and the Liz Bot is our new dear leader, every other Tory is going to get in line with every other Tory, and they're going to present a unified face with which to win the next election. The Labour Party, meanwhile, will wrestle each other to the ground so that the Tories can step nimbly over them and acquire another 5 years in glorious power. Because the Labour Party love losing. They love it, stewing in that delicious agony.
Yeah, what's their obsession? Because you're bang on there. I heard you mention it last week as well, about every time the Conservatives score an own goal, the Labour Party, and don't get me wrong, I do like Keir Starmer, I've got a lot of time for him, but the problem is, it is like watching your sort of awkward uncle get up on the dance floor at a wedding party. Yeah. You just want to cringe every time. Every time he makes a so-called strategic decision, he needs to change the people who are advising them, because the Conservatives have so many holes, Nick. I mean, it says here, this is the funniest line, and I've got this is quoted. He says, we inherited, this is Rishi Sunak, a bunch of formulas from Labour that shoved all the funding in. Yeah, and he says, I started the work of undoing that.
Yeah, sure.
Hold on a second. How many years
12.
did it take for him to become Chancellor and for us to have a Tory government before they started undoing things?
Let's ask what's his name.
And one.
More than that.
Two.
More than that.
11.
Almost. 12 years. 12 blooming years. Yes, and it's still all Jeremy Corbyn's fault. Can you believe that?
Yeah, and they're still trying to convince us that, oh, yes, the last Labour government, we're sick of it. We're sick of it, and we're not going to have any of that. But I don't know. I'm a bit fearful, Nick, that you're probably right. The Labour Party aren't going to be able to.
No, they're going to screw up massively. They're going to find a way to lose. They will manage to yank a disaster from the jaws of success. Because the Conservative Party will do something, and as though to say, look, this is the most awful thing that you've ever seen a political party do. And Labour will look at that and say, hold my beer.
Yeah, they will. They just, for every single time, anything that the Conservatives do that either puts their foot into it or perhaps damages their reputation, they don't capitalise on it. Now, they do it to an extent, what's his name? Keir Starmer. He is very forensic, and that's great. It's very good to be forensic, but he needs to
if you're a
be
lawyer,
a bit more of a...
if you're a lawyer, but you've got to speak in sound bites to the mouth breathers who vote. The masses are asses. Stop being so clinical and dull. You wave your arms about a bit, at the very least. All right, thanks a lot, Billy. Is there more?
Thanks, Nick.
Oh, is there more?
Oh, no. I just wanted to say, if anyone wants to see the human side of Keir, then his life stories was absolutely brilliant, and that's what he needs to be more like. You need to be able to see his more human side, because he's a good guy, but he needs to start winning. We need to get the Tories out, and we're hopeless. We've got no chance if he doesn't start doing that.
Well, as long as you don't express an opinion, or a political opinion, one way or the other, Billy, that's excellent. Thanks a lot, mate. Cheers. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nica@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Rishi texts, I'm a rich Tory with a pool. Can I fill it?
Yes.
Absolutely, Rishi. You can do anything you like. Isn't he an absolute dream? And so he'll say something stupid, and then an inquisitor will quiz him on it, and he'll do those hurt big brown puppy dog eyes. Oh, me? Those two, the gruesome twosome, those are the best of us. They are the best that this country has to offer. One of those two is going to be our next dear leader. Can you believe that? I'm very I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. Chris says, with regards to the weather and the gloom, we need beavers. Beavers will help us engineer water during dry conditions and floods. And as sure as chickens follow eggs, then when this dry period ends, the floods will begin. And we will have to parachute beavers in to save us. Well, I hate to break the news to you, Chris, but there's no such thing as beavers. It was something that Walt Disney made up as a joke. And that's a fact. Let's have a call in Bodmin. Malcolm.
Nick.
Malcolm.
Nick, what can I do for you, sir?
I'll have the 12-inch with extra cheese and no sweet corn.
Oh.
None at all.
Nick, I'm ringing about legislation.
Mm-hmm.
We are promised reams and reams and reams of new legislation and regulation.
Yes. Dreamt up by a lawyer. Lawyer.
Yeah, well,
lawyer. Close.
Let me ask you a simple question. How much legislation do you think Johnson has got through in the last 3 years?
7.
Do you think it's lots, or do you think it's very little?
I'm saying 7 is the right answer.
I've in the back of my mind, pundits recently saying that there has been an absolute dearth of legislation. But I've thought of 3, Nick.
Yeah.
And the first one that they've done is the additional internal border, and otherwise known as the Brexit National Income Reduction Bill. That was one.
The Brexit National Income Reduction Bill.
Yeah.
What?
And then you've got if you come near our borders in a dinghy,
oh, I see.
You are going.
Oh, I see.
Warning!
A listener with material.
Oh no! But the point I'm making, Nick, is
there's a point.
That these are the sorts of legislation that we're going to get. It is simply red meat to the base. We're not going to have anything meaningful or that's going to benefit the country.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be, I'm going to make the people of Tunbridge Wells much better off than they already are.
Yeah, but they won't actually put it that way, and unless Fishy Sunak loses his mind and blurts out the truth again. What they're actually going to do is distract us all with woke nonsense. Woke nonsense, they're going to ramp that up to never-before-seen levels.
Now, Nick, last night I had a thought. I sent a text in to Tom. He didn't mention it. But I've got a sneaky feeling you and James and even Tom, bless him, have said that all the Tories are going to have at the next election to fight on is woke.
Right.
Because
did I not just say that?
Yeah.
I think that was me.
But I got a genuine feeling, Nick, that by the time of the next election, the Tory party will not be able to run on that. Because if all they can do is woke, even their own members are going to say, not in my name. Because if that's all they've got, then...
Yeah, they won't say not in my. They won't say not in my name. They might say, "Oh, I'm a bit bored. Have you got anything else?" They might say that. They might get bored of the whole woke things because there's only so many woke things that they can go for: unisex toilets, statues of slave traders, and then what else have you got? History in general. Can't tell history because that is telling history is rewriting history. That's just a fact.
And you're not going to have the bodge to make it sound funny, are you? He's gone.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he has gone. I think he's just swum out. He's swum out with the tide and he's coming back. We're going to need a bigger boat and a bigger harpoon. Got to go, Malcolm. Thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC.
Nick Abbot on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Right, so what are we doing?
Given we are doing a radio show, but it does remind me that I do a podcast with Carol McGiffin.
Yeah.
In which we try to solve people's problems while laughing like seals. Now, if you have a problem that you want non-experts to help you with, then you must send it to the following address. nickandcarol@global.com. nickandcarol @global.com. And then, Carol, they can be prepared for total satisfaction, yes?
No.
It's a podcast called What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol. It's an hour long, comes out on Mondays. I think you'll love it. It's on Global Player. Have you got Global Player? You absolutely should have that in your life. It has all the radio stations that we do here, including Classic FM. So relaxing.
Yeah.
No, wrong one.
Groovy.
That one. It's not funny. It's relaxing. And all the podcasts that we do as well. And there's the 3 that I do on there, but the one I'm talking about now is called What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol?
Oh, right, yeah.
It's it makes me laugh and it makes her laugh. And we guffaw our way through about 60 minutes of top quality amusement. There's over 100 episodes to... if you want to be amused from now until the end of time, then it'll be right up your alley. Ask for it by name on an internet near you. What's your problem with Nick and Carol? And you can thank me later. No, wait. I've changed my mind. You can thank me now.
Thank you.
Let's have a call in Lewisham. Jane.
Hello, Nick.
Hello, Jane.
You know, I haven't got a television and I am so pleased because I haven't seen any of this, have I? None of it. But I don't want to. But anyway, Nick, you are brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And you know, Nick,
what?
We have got the motoringparty.co.uk.
What's that?
Have a look at it.
I won't.
On the web.
Tell me what it is.
It's a political party.
The motoring party? What kind of a party is that?
Have a look at it on the web.
I am not going to. You can't make me because I don't want to.
Okay. Well, everybody else can look at it, can't they?
No, they can't. I forbid it.
Nick, do you like milk?
Do I like milk? Who doesn't like milk?
There are some people that don't like milk, but I really, really like milk and mackerel.
Milk and mackerel. Yeah, but not at the same time, though, right?
No.
Oh, you could have a mackerel smoothie. Mackerel flavoured ice cream. I think that somebody should invent that.
I see.
Why did you ask me if I like milk?
I just wondered.
Oh, you were just wondering.
Milk?
You were just wondering. You were going, wonder if he likes milk. Wonder if he likes milk, you were thinking. Well, that's perfectly normal, Jane. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Cheers, my dear, for whatever that was. Archie texts, if the French have also run out of water, we can't blame them, and Johnson's scarpered to the sunny uplands, so who do we blame? I don't know, we'll blame whoever's left. Who's left? Who's left on this sinking ship? There's nobody on the poop deck, that's for sure. Chris says, can I fill the hot tub using a hosepipe, as you didn't mention it? Absolutely, Chris. Is it a hosepipe? Then the answer is...
No.
And furthermore...
No.
It's a no. Paul texts, the Earth is speeding up. That's right, the Earth is speeding up. We're all about to get flung off into space. That's just true. I read that in... I read it in a magazine. Uh-oh. I've been watching Elton John. He's had a couple of concerts on the television. One was the Red Piano thing, and another was, I think it was Hyde Park. I'll tell you what, he may be like 110 years old, but he certainly does still have it. He can, with those short, stubby fingers of his, he can bash out a tune on the old Joanna, no problem, and still got that voice. And the tunes, don't forget the tunes. Tunes. Benny and the Jets, I love that track. And I particularly love a bit of it, sort of about halfway through, because it's supposed to be live. And I wonder if it was actually recorded live. If I was going to interview Elton John, I would be asking him about that song. I'd be quizzing him about it. Maybe the information is available on the World Wide Web. If we should get the internet in this building. Write that down on a piece of paper. Pass it upwards. The internet. I've heard good things about it. Maybe the internet knows. Was it actually recorded live, or was the live sound dubbed on? I'm suspicious because there is a whistle from the audience, which is perfect. It's so perfectly timed and perfectly in tune with the track that it's always made me suspicious that it wasn't dubbed in. You know, a band member didn't actually provide that musical accompaniment. But we're led to believe, or we're invited to believe, or maybe they just don't care one way or the other. They just stuck it on then without concern about what we think. But it does seem as though it was a bit too perfect to be recorded live. Get Elton John on the phone right now, I mean it. Playing tennis? Well, stop him. I'm doing a radio show here. We're live. Here's a call in Oxted. Hello, Pat.
Yeah.
Pat.
Pat in Oxted.
Yes, Pat in Oxted.
Tell me I'm stupid or
You're
I'm
stupid.
But we all pay into the National Health Service, don't we? Which makes us shareholders in it.
Yeah.
Well, the chappie or the woman at the top, who's the CEO, she can't be very good at it.
No.
Now, I've had a marvellous idea. All this money that we pay into the National Health Service, why don't they take out one ginormous insurance policy? Then we can all go private.
Well, that's an excellent idea there, Pat. I want you to promise me you'll keep thinking. Will you do that for me?
Is it so impractical?
Well, the thing is, the national insurance that we pay is the insurance part. That's why it's called insurance, because it's the insurance part. It's just not.
Why do they waste so much?
Well, I don't know. It's not a very good insurance policy, is it?
Well, it can't be, because if people who invest in a public company,
yeah,
they get a return, they get a dividend, don't they?
They certainly do. No end of it.
Well, if we who have invested in the National Health Service,
yeah,
we don't get anything.
Pat,
I mean,
you
I
get
wouldn't mind. I
nothing.
don't want the money.
No.
I just want the service.
You want the bandages, yeah.
Well, I don't even get the service. So not only do I end up paying this money into the
giant hole in the ground that they just fling it all. Yes.
But I can't get any service.
You can't get any service. You can't get stuck in those machines that go.
No, I can't get anything.
Huh?
I can't even get a decent cup of coffee when you go in.
Well, that is true. Hospitals are not known for the quality of their coffee.
Correct.
That's just a true fact.
I wonder what they are well qualified in.
Building maintenance, mopping.
Oh yes,
mopping fluids off the floor.
Lovely new waiting rooms with beautiful furniture. When the other waiting room, before they spent all the money on that, was perfectly all right.
Yeah, no one has ever seen such comfortable furniture as they have in A&E.
No, better than we've got at home.
Wow,
anyway,
you must have some pretty dismal furniture at home there, Pat. All right, cheers, my dear.
Night.
Good night, Pat. There was Pat tucking herself in for the night.
Bye-bye.
0345 6060 973. Yeah, it's a pretty poor insurance policy, isn't it? I mean, if it was any other kind of insurance policy, you would cancel your insurance and you'd go to another provider, if that was the kind of service they gave you, that we get on the NHS. By the way, on the most recent What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol on that podcast, what I was just talking about.
Oh, right, yeah.
Is the noise of one of those machines. Wah, 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 ba, 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 those ones. Like that. And somebody's taken that. We were discussing it at length because you can't take any metal into those rooms. So I thought there's no way anybody can record it. How can you record it if you can't take any metal into the room? Because it's a giant magnet. It's the same size of magnet that pulls the moon across the sky. God, the stuff you learn on this show is like an education, ain't it?
No.
But somebody did, and then they did something amusing with it. But you'll have to listen to the podcast to hear it. Ain't I a tease? It's called What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol. It's available on an internet near you. All you have to do is ask for it by name. What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol?
Yeah.
Hagar texts, polar ice caps are melting, but we get a hosepipe ban. Even water doesn't want to come here in case it gets sent to Rwanda. Hey, you know what really is bad is everything. Yes. You know what's bad? Everything.
Affirmative.
But what was really alarming was I was reading a report in I think it was Bloomberg or Washington Post, one of those American publications, about the snow on the Sierra Nevada mountains or something like that. Anyway, the mountains that border California, usually covered in snow. And when the snow melts in the summertime, it drips down onto the into aquifers and lakes and reservoirs and so on, and that way gets squirted up Los Angeles or Las Vegas or Phoenix or any of those places, and they really, really rely on the snow coming down. But guess what? Big reveal: no snow. Much, much less snow than they were expecting or have ever experienced before, and it's getting less and less every year. And so the water that they depend on, like tens of millions of people, are only there in what basically are deserts because of the water that comes down as snow and then, slowly gets distributed across that area. But if you ain't got no snow, you ain't got no water. And then you ain't got no life no more. Oh, well, never mind. That's just weather. That's what I read. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC. It's 11:30, the news headlines with Serena Farrow.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Shut up.
I can't. Jane texts, I am so glad I live in the Pennines. We actually had some rain today, boasts Jane. Thanks a lot, Jane. Keep it to yourself. Waz texts, any ideas on how to get rid of the hiccups? Just lying in bed hiccuping, says Waz. Actually, I do. The thing that always works for me is drinking water from a glass from the opposite side of the glass. You have to bend over at the waist. And it takes a good deal of control to avoid spilling it all over the floor. But that always works for me. It's just a little embarrassing having to do it in a restaurant. But when I'm eating like really, really hot food, like Thai food or something like that, like hot, spicy food, I mean, if I get a mouthful of something too hot, then I know, I think, oh, God, here we go. And I'm going to be hiccuping for, just hours, unless I get up in the middle of the restaurant and bend over at the waist and drink water from the opposite side of a glass of water. That works for me. Wow, I should stop this show right now because I think I've just been helpful. Can you believe that?
No.
Let's have a call in Battersea. Caroline. Sweet Caroline. Too late. Friston, East Sussex. Hello, Ben.
Hi, how you doing? All right?
Yes, Ben.
Yeah, I was going to talk about the NHS, if you want a conversation on that. Or
Not really, but what were you going to say?
Well, I'm just going to talk about my girlfriend that I took to the NHS. I think it was about a year ago. She had a massive abscess, and her dentist was so concerned about her tooth. That had a kind of like a massive...
okay, less detail. Go on.
Okay, that was just, her whole brain was...
Yeah, okay, much less detail. Go on.
Okay, so her brain was swinging out...
Okay, is this more detail?